Good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Yoga. We are in the month of October 2024. This is our first Thursday of the month, and the theme is just general gentle yoga. I'll try to target a different area each day of this month, and we're going to focus on opening up the heart, which involves stretching through the pectorals as well as the shoulders, and the hip flexors by engaging the glutes and a little bit of hamstrings as well. You will need your yoga strap, and I'd like for you to go ahead and pick it up now. And then just for a moment, just place it around your neck so you've got it there for you in just a bit to use. So when we come to our mountain pose, we can stand with feet really tight together, but this is a little tough to balance. Or we can separate our feet about hips distance apart, maybe a little wider if you need that bigger base of support there. And then I just want you to place your hands kind of back on the sides of your sacrum here with your fingertips pointing down. And then press into that area of your hips a little bit and pull your elbows back and then slightly release them forward. You might not have a big range of motion here, and I don't want you to go really hard right at first, but we're pulling the elbows toward one another, squeezing the shoulder blades to open up the front of the shoulders. Now let's pull it back and hold for a count of 3, 2, 1, and then release that little tension. We'll do that twice more. Pull the elbows back, hold 3, 2, 1, and one more time. Squeeze shoulder blades, pull elbows back, 3, 2, and 1, and release. Okay, keep your hands right there. They're on the top part of your glutes. And I just want you to tense those muscles, squeezing your glutes, and push your hips forward a little bit. So I'm going from here to about right there, holding 3, 2, 1, and then releasing that tension on the glutes. Pressing forward, squeeze the glutes, open up the hip flexors, 3, 2, 1, and then release that. We'll do it one more time. 3, 2, 1, and release. Let's shake out the wrists a little bit. I was feeling a little tension in flexion of the wrists. So now we're going to put those two actions together. So you'll be pulling the elbows back as we press the hips forward, squeezing the glutes. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, pull the elbows back, squeeze the glutes, push the hips forward. 3, 2, 1, and release. And notice that gives us a tiny bit of a back bend, so I'm taking my gaze up just slightly. Retract back, squeeze the glutes, push forward. 3, 2, 1, and up. Good, one more time. Engage, squeeze back, push. 3, 2, 1, and release. Now with a different position of the arms, we'll inhale to reach up. And as we exhale, pull the elbows back from here. Hold 3, 2, 1. Reach, inhale. Squeeze shoulder blades back. And one more. I'm going to turn sideways and we'll add the squeeze of the glutes, pushing the hips forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, pull back, squeeze the glutes, press the hips forward. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale. This is our goalpost arms with a baby back bend. 2, 1. And one more time. Reach up. Draw back, squeeze the shoulder blades, push the hips forward, tighten the glutes. 2, and 1. Inhale, reach up, soften your knees, and do a little swan dive down into a small forward fold just to check out the hamstrings right now, see how everything's feeling. And Okay, I see your note, David. All right, inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive down. Maybe holding 3 counts at the bottom of that forward fold, and we'll do one more. Exhale. 3, 2, and 1. So let's link those movements together. So we'll inhale up, draw the shoulder blades together, squeeze the glutes, press the hips forward, holding 3. Then inhaling up, swan diving down, holding 3 in your forward fold. 2 more times. Sweep up, breathe in. Pull the shoulder blades back, press the hips forward, tighten the glute muscles. Breathe in. Exhale down. Maybe we can take this forward fold just a tiny bit deeper. And again, reach up. Open up the heart. 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. Down into your forward fold. Pausing there. Soften the backs of the legs. Let's do one more of each. Take it on up. Pull back. Exhale. Tighten the glutes. And inhale. Swan dive down. Exhale. Backs of the legs stretching. 3, 2, 1. Then just inhale to reach up. Press the palms. Draw the thumbs into the heart. And relax. Okay, let's step our feet a little bit wider than hips distance. Take that yoga strap and a comfortable distance apart with your arms. On a breath in, we'll reach the arms up. On a breath out, we'll take a little side bend over. On a breath in, we'll come back up. And then as we breathe out, the arms lower down. 4 movements. Up on 1, inhale. Side on 2, exhale. Up on 3, inhale. Arms lower, exhale. Do 2 more each direction. And I am pulling outward a little bit on the strap. And try to balance the placement of your body weight into both feet equally. So I'm not rocking over to the side so that I'm putting my weight in my left foot. Really stretching those lats and the side body. This should feel great this morning. But if you're feeling any tension, you know what to do with that range of motion. Modify. And lower. So we're going to start a circle with the arms by taking them around to the right, bringing them up, around to the left, and to the front. Now you can stay standing upright and really not bend over at the waist here and keep your legs straight. Or as you come around, you can bend your knees and try to bring the strap lower to the ground. So we've got a little bit of rotation, we've got side bending, and we have forward flexion. 2 more. And I'm inhaling as I come up and exhaling to come down. 1 more. And we'll hold here at the bottom. And then straightening out the legs any amount, just stretch and hold. And if you want, you can kind of relax the tension on the strap a little bit, or you can keep it tight, activating your shoulders. Then pull your abdominals in and we start to roll the spine up from the base, lower back, mid back, upper back. Head comes up very last. And then we begin our circle to the left. We can stay upright for a couple of these. Or we can start to bend the knees and come down a little lower. You decide how far. Maybe you can make it like a spirograph. Do you remember those as a kid? It started with a little circle and then it started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I think that's what it was called. Spirograph. We had great toys when we were little, didn't we? They weren't high tech, but they were fun. Let's do 3 more around this way. Exhaling down. 2 more. 1 more. Holding it at the bottom. Knees can stay bent any amount or straighten them. You can make the strap loose or keep it tight. And then let's restack that spine 1 vertebra at a time. Rolling the shoulders up, back, and down. Take the strap behind your back. You can spread your arms apart as far as you want to be able to lift and lower. So the closer your hands are together, the least amount of range of motion that you can bring the arms up. So play with it a little bit and decide how far apart you want your arms. And you can kind of adjust it maybe every rep, taking it a little wider or taking it a little bit more narrow. And then we're going to add a turn of the head with this. So as the arms come up, look right. Look center as they go down. Then look left. 2 more each direction. Now make this as gentle as you need so you're not feeling any pain in your shoulders. That's not what it's about. It's about pain-free range of motion. Last one to the left. And rest. Great. Put that strap again over the back of your neck. Come to the top of your mat so you've got room to step behind you. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sit into chair pose. And your arms can be anywhere you'd like. I kind of like hands at heart center, then I can just relax my shoulders. But we can bring the arms forward. We can bring them up toward the ears. We can take them behind us if we're really working on that heart opener. And let's just hold our chair pose. Feel the work in your legs. 2 more breaths. Last one. And then we'll take a step back behind us with this right foot. Not a huge step, pushing your heel down to the floor. This is our short stance warrior 1. We want to have our hips grounded forward. And let's grab that strap again. So the leg that we're going to be stretching the hip is this one on the back. So I want you to tighten the glute on the back side of the right hip. Bring the strap in front of you. And as we did when we're warming up, we'll inhale to reach the arms up. Exhale to side bend over to the left. Now this is a lot of balance as well and core. Inhale, come up. Exhale, arms down. And we'll keep going to the left side. That'll help us to open up that hip. Breathe in. Breathe out. In and out. Now if you're feeling any strain with this shoulder and you don't want to do the strap, you can breathe in and lift your right arm. Breathe out and do your side stretch over. You can even just bring your hand to your shoulder to do your side stretch so you're not lifting your arm. Let's do 3 more on this sequence. Keep tightening that right glute. That's going to help you release your hip flexor. And one more time, we'll hold the side bend. Tense up that right glute. Keep breathing through this hold. And then inhale back up. Exhale, arms down. Good. Let's step the back foot forward. Come back into your chair. You can keep the strap and push the arms out in front of you and make some tension in that rope pulling outward. And then we'll step the left foot back. Requires a little bit of balance, but if you've got a chair here, you can put your fingers down and then step your foot back, get your balance, and come on up. Now we need to tense the left glute muscle a little bit to relax that hip flexor. And then we'll inhale, reaching. Side stretch to the right this time. Exhale. How does this side feel? And down. So this is my most recent hip surgery on this back leg, so it does feel a little tighter. But these are exercises I'm supposed to be doing to help with that hip flexor pain, so it's really good for me to gently work through that range of motion. At your own pace with this. And that usually follows the rhythm of your breathing more than anything. And we'll do 3 more of these with any of your modifications. Did you let the glute relax? Tighten it up again. And then we have our last one with a hold. Boy, I sure feel my feet kind of gripping into the mat. My toes are gripping. I'm really trying to keep my balance here. But that's a good thing. All right, let's bring it back up. Lower the arms. Step forward into chair. Now, if your shoulders are tired, just bring your hands to your heart. You can bring the strap forward. You can bring it up. And we'll hold. Good. Press up out of those legs, rising from chair. Bring the strap behind you. Again, any distance apart. The right foot will be forward. The left foot will be back. So we're switching our lead leg. Square your hips forward. Lift your arms any amount. And then slowly start to hinge from your hips just down until you start to feel a stretch in the back of your leg. And then pull it back up. Your back foot can be turned out a little bit, but trying to make that foot as parallel as possible. And you can separate your feet from side to side a little bit more if you're struggling with balance. You can kind of walk that front foot out a little bit. So coming down and coming up. 3 more, and then we'll hold this at the bottom. Now, if your shoulders are really complaining, this is just a suggestion to do with the straps. I want you to modify where you need to here. This last one we will hold. Make sure you're not locking out the front knee, but it's not bent a lot either. It's just a little tiny micro bend, and we're lifting those arms up, 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 stretching. And then inhale, pull it up. And exhale, step your feet back together. I don't know about you, but I need a little bit of relaxing for those shoulders. I'm just going to move them around a little bit. That's a really good stretch. At the same time, since I'm pulling out on the strap, I feel my deltoids really firing. Okay, so let's bring it back behind again. And if you have a lot of flexibility, you can actually interlace your hands together. You don't need to use the strap. We'll have our left foot in front, our right foot back. Not a huge step. Separate your feet a little bit from side to side. Lift those arms up any amount. And we'll start to hinge forward. Go slow so you don't strain that front hamstring. And then come up. If we go too fast into a stretch, sometimes we can cause a stretch response. There's little receptors in our muscles called the muscle spindles. And sometimes they'll go, oh no, we're not going to do that. And then it causes your muscles to tighten. And then that kind of defeats the purpose of what we're doing here if the muscles tighten back up on us. We want them to relax. Let's do 3 more. Maybe you adjust where your hands are on the strap. Or you can get rid of it altogether if you need that break. 2 more. And the last one we hold. So not only are we stretching here, but when we come up and down, we're strengthening the spinal extensors as well as the glute, especially on your back leg. Couple more breaths. And inhale back up. And release the arms, take a break, roll those shoulders out a couple times. We can place the strap over the neck again. And then we'll take a big step back so you can turn long ways on your mat into a nice wide stance. So we will turn our right foot toward the top of the mat and then turn your left foot parallel. So this is our Warrior 2 stance. Bend the front knee, square off the hips and shoulders. You can reach the arms out. They feel a little tired for me, and take your gaze over that front hand. Now facing back to the front, this front hand is going to come across our body, and we'll either hold it with the left hand maybe at the forearm or up here on the upper arm, or we can even wrap into an eagle position, and we're pulling that arm across the front of the body, and then take your eye gaze over your right shoulder or that front shoulder. So we're stretching that shoulder because we've been working it pretty hard with the strap behind the back, and we're opening up the upper back a little bit here. One more breath. Then sweep it out, inhale, and we'll do it to the other side. So this left arm is going to come across. We can hold it like this. We can loop under, pull it across the body, but don't turn your body that way. So keep your body forward and look over the other shoulder. Really stabilize with strong legs, strong core. And looking back to the front, open out, reach the arms long, and then lower them down. Okay, if you're okay to stay in this stance a little bit longer, we are going to take the strap in the right hand or whatever your front leg is, and we'll reach it up and drape it behind your back. So right away, I'm feeling a stretch right here through the tricep. If you have shoulder mobility issues, your elbow might be down lower, but just put it in a comfortable place. And then we can reach behind for the strap with the other hand, bringing your fingertips pretty close together here. And we hold, or we add a side stretch toward the back leg. So this is a reverse warrior with the cow face arms position. Make sure you're not bending over at the waist to do this. So you're upright. And then I want you to tense and tighten the back leg glute muscle. So give it a squeeze. Breathe. Nice. And then come back up. Bottom arm always comes out carefully first. And then the top arm. Good. We'll straighten up both legs, pivoting this right foot to parallel, and the left foot pivots out to the side. We come into our warrior two, and we can reach out long, look over the front hand. Now, when we lift our arms, sometimes our upper traps start to shrug our shoulders up. If you're not sure they're shrugging up, a good kind of trick to do is to go ahead and shrug them and then push them down as hard as you can and hold that. And that'll show you how it feels to do it improperly as well as properly. Okay, so now this hand, the front leg hand, is going to come across, and we pull it in or loop into eagle, and we look over the front leg shoulder, which is your bent knee side. Nice release for the upper back and neck. Now you should be tensing your back leg glute. So give it a little squeeze. Nice. Bring your head back to neutral. Unwrap your arms. Inhale. Then your other arm's going to come across the back one. Look over that back shoulder. Boy, I can tell the difference from one side to the other, and which side needs it a little bit more. Now, sometimes if you notice in your upper back where you're feeling the stretch, you can actually breathe into that spot by filling your lungs, and you can sort of open that space a little bit more with your breathing. And then bring the head back front, open out. And then this top hand or the front hand is going to grab your strap, reach it up, bring it back. Sometimes I like to push it a little bit or pull it to get it up into position. And then the other hand reaches behind. We find the strap behind us. This is my more flexible side with the front shoulder. So you can stay just like this, or we can side bend to the back leg. That does involve a little bit of balance. So make sure you're really nice and grounded into your feet and that you're not bending over from the waist. So shoulders are nice and stacked over those hips. Good. Bring it up, releasing the bottom arm carefully first, and I slide it down and then around. Okay, we're going to change legs one more time on each side. So pivot in, pivot out. And this is our humble warrior. So in humble warrior, we do bend over at the waist and we bow down. The strap is going to go behind your back again. We'll open up the heart and lift up the arms any amount. And then the front leg shoulder is going to come down, down, down toward the inside of your knee and lift the arms up any amount. Now, if this is too hard to balance, you can let go of the strap and you can have your chair in front of your body to support you here, or a block. And then slowly start to rise back up. Ooh, man, I feel how weak that left hip is to bring me back up. Wowza. Now just hold it upright, pull back one more time, open the heart. And relax. Okay, let's pivot. Front leg in. Back leg turns out. So how much do we bend this knee? It's all up to you. And it's up to how long your stride is. My stride isn't really super long here, so I have a little bit of a bend in my knee. That brings the knee right over the ankle. If your stride is longer, you're maybe going to bend it more, and vice versa. Okay, let's come into our humble warrior. So we'll lift the arms. We're slightly tensing between the shoulder blades. And then we start to lower the left shoulder toward the left knee. And we lift the arms then up a little higher. So when you're bending forward and lifting the arms up, you don't have as much pull of gravity. So it actually seems easier for me to lift my arms up when I'm folded forward. Take any modifications you need. It's all about where you are today. And maybe it's 3 joint replacements in less than a year. So we have to just be really kind to our bodies. All right, you guys ready to come on up with me? Push down into that front foot. Lift up with the body. Then let's lift those arms up one more time. Try not to shrug your shoulders. Push down. And then relax the arms. Pivot that front foot in, relaxing the strap. We might need it with us as we come down to hands and knees. I'm just going to kind of walk my feet in a little bit. Bring that strap right there. Grabbing my padding for my knees, we'll come down to all fours. All right. So we're still going to focus on opening up the hip flexors here and do it while we're strengthening the glutes and also tightening our core and working a little bit on balance. So let's extend the right leg straight back and tighten that right glute as we lift our legs slightly up and slightly down. So the glute and the hamstring kind of work together at the same time. So you're going to feel both of those muscles active. But I want you to focus tightening the glute. To make this more challenging, lift your left hand off the floor. And you can lift that arm up and down a little bit as you're lifting and lowering that right leg. Maybe you need to come down to your elbows if this bothers your shoulders. 2 more. 1 more. And then bring that knee in. Let's take a little cat stretch. Round the back up, tuck the tailbone. And back to neutral spine. Extend your left leg back. Now make sure your left hip doesn't rotate up. So we want to keep the pelvis level across here. And then we'll lift and lower that left leg a little bit while we're tightening the glute. And then the right arm can reach out and also lift and lower. Three, two, one. Come in. Cat stretch. Scoop the abs. Tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin. Open up the space in your lower back. Back to neutral. Right leg goes back again. This time we'll bend that knee about 90 degrees and try to push your foot up toward the ceiling, tightening the glute. Slightly down. So this is a press up, not a swing or a kick. It's really nice and controlled with your muscle. We can reach the arm forward, lifting and lowering it, or just hold your arm in a stable position. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax down. Cat stretch or maybe child's pose. I'm just giving you a little bit of relief from your back being in that little bit of extension. Okay, last time on the left side, send that left leg back. Bend your knee about 90 degrees. Push your foot up to the ceiling and slightly down. Tensing your glute and your hamstring. Adding the option with your right arm. Now tighten your abdominals. Try not to let your back sag. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Last cat stretch or last child's pose. So now we're going to do this from our tummy, coming all the way down onto your belly. If that doesn't feel good for your body for whatever reason, you can stay on your hands and knees. So for our first round, we're just going to make a pillow for the forehead. Straighten both legs nice and strong, and then we'll squeeze the right glute and lift the leg up and down from the hip. So option 1, we're just lifting the leg. Option 2, we can extend the arms and we can lift the left arm and then come down. And I'm also lifting my chest up a little bit, so I'm working my back muscles. 4, 3, this is our contralateral raise. 2, and 1. If you're feeling okay just to relax here for a moment, you can. If you want to push up to a cat stretch or a child's pose or even a down dog, you can come out of this position and stretch your lower back. All right, let's do the left side. So straighten both legs and then lift that left leg up and down. Boy, this is really tiny for me on this side. My hip flexors very tight after that hip replacement. Then your option, you can add Superman arms. Come up with the right arm and slightly with the chest. 4, 3, 2, 1, And relax. Again, if you need to press up and give your back a stretch. Oh, this is kind of nice. I'm just rocking my pelvis side to side, and that's given me some relief there a little bit. Okay, so now I want you to lift alternating legs. So your right leg comes up, down, your left leg comes up. Whatever pace you want to alternate. Your option is to add the arms in Superman, alternating and opposing. So right leg, left arm, then left leg, right arm. This is one of the best back strengtheners out there when we do our contralateral raise. Two more on each side. This can be done from hands and knees just as easily. One more each side. And then relax. Take any break, stretch, or counter stretch you need. So the next one will be lifting both legs, and if that doesn't feel okay, go back to alternating single legs. So let's try to squeeze both legs or both glutes. Keep your legs as straight as you can and lift them up and down and up and down. Now, if we add the upper body, we can bring our hands right here and lift arms and legs and chest. Or you can reach out your arms further over your head. That's a little bit more challenging. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now we are going to press back up to all fours. Child's pose or downward dog. Downward dog either using the mat or using your chair. So lots of options. Whatever feels good for you, just take a break for that lower back. And take a few breaths. You can move your head a little bit from side to side, up and down if you're in that down dog. And then we'll come to a seated position. I'm going to sit up on my blanket. That's always nice to elevate the hips a little bit when we're working on hamstring stretches. So come on down. Let's see, how am I going to get this done? Just have to think about it. It's not pretty, I know. Okay, down onto your bum. Legs straight out in front of you. That's not going to work. Oh, and this is on YouTube for perpetuity. Oh, that's okay. That's all right. Okay, sit up tall. So let's take our yoga strap. So now we are stretching the hamstrings, and to get these to relax, if we can tighten up our quad muscles, that's going to help us. Maybe we can't get those to fire if our knees are bent a lot because our quads straighten our legs. So hopefully you can get your legs straight even if you have to lean back a little bit. And I want you to tighten your leg muscles. So when you tighten them, you can see your kneecaps kind of slide back, and then release that. And then tighten right here and right here. And release. Now we're going to tighten and try to hold this, and then bring ourselves forward by keeping those quads engaged, helping us to relax the back of our legs. And again, that's okay if you don't get the quads to contract. I still want you to do the stretch to the best of your ability. Couple more breaths. And then we'll come up. So keep your strap, but take your right foot out and bend your knee out to the side. And I'm going to take my blanket here to support this hip so it's not just kind of hanging there for me. So we're going to do a forward fold and then we're going to adjust it to a side bend. So tighten your left quad muscle, squeeze it, and then bring yourself forward, holding your stretch. Not a super long hold. And then come back up and hold the strap with the same hand that your leg is out in front. And I want you to turn your body toward the bent knee. And then we're just going to fold over that leg a little bit. So this is a little small hip stretch here. And then come up. Keep your chest turned out and side stretch and pull yourself down with that strap. Oh, this is interesting where I'm feeling this. Of course, from hip flexor, I'm feeling, or from hip surgery, feels like I'm feeling this back where my new hip is kind of right back there in the hip socket. But not in a bad way. It's just like that tissue needs to stretch. And come up. Okay, we'll do those 3 stretches on the other side. Facing back to the front, we slide the right foot into the belt. The left knee bends, and we allow it to open. Okay, before we start, try to tighten up this muscle right here. Squeeze it and tense it. If you can keep it like that, that's great as we come forward. And if not, that doesn't mean you're not feeling benefit from this stretch, because you still are. This just gives you that little extra reciprocal inhibition. Okay, let's come up. Keep a hold of it with your front hand, same as the extended leg. Turn your body toward your knee, and then just stretch over that knee a little bit. Sometimes I almost forget what it felt like to be able to stretch without hip problems. And it's funny because I really only had problems with the hips for, gosh, not even 6 months. But my body forgets where I could take things in the past. Maybe that's a good thing. It's a new normal for me. Okay, let's come up. Now keep your chest toward that knee as we reach the arm up and we side stretch. That feels really nice in the side body. I feel it completely different on this side than I did the other. And we'll inhale back up. Turn your body back to the front, releasing that strap. And we'll do one more heart opener by bringing our hands behind our body and then pulling those shoulder blades together as much as we can and lifting the heart up toward the ceiling. Now, if you want to make this a little bit more work, you can also lift your bum up off the floor a little bit, but you decide. And then releasing to come up. Now, sometimes it's really nice to kind of finish class with something we did at the beginning. So you can say, oh, that really does feel different or feels better. So take your time to come up, back up onto your feet where we started class today. And the movement we're going to do is the hands on the sacrum on either side.